They give you unwanted advice. They drop by unannounced. They use guilt and manipulation to get what they want. I'm talking about your know-it-all in-laws. They're a sneaky class of relatives who have the power to destroy your relationship if you let them. Now, Amanda says that she hates her meddling, controlling, know-it-all mother-in-law. She says that her mother-in-law is out to totally destroy their relationship, and she says that it's beginning to work. Now, both sides say the other is psychotic. Take a look.
My mother-in-law is a psychotic woman and a control freak.
My daughter-in-law, she's totally unpredictable, especially when she's drunk.
Yeah, I was drunk last night because I can't handle you. My mother-in-law drives me absolutely crazy.
She really has emotional problems.
She's a miserable human being. She's a bitch. I just don't respect her.
She does not have much education.
They do talk French when I'm around. Very difficult with the French speaking. It just feels like chaos.
She gets upset if I just say one sentence. She blows up for everything.
Yeah, you are being ridiculous because I'm married to your son. I don't have to. When my mother-in-law walks through the door, I feel like I could explode. If something doesn't go her way, she starts freaking out. She's also thrown matches all over the floor, pretending that she's gonna start the house on fire. The night before we were married, she threw a prenup, faxed it over, and all of a sudden the rules just started coming in.
My mother can be very pushy.
Oh, and here are the cigarettes she smokes.
It's none of her business what I do. I'm an adult, I can smoke. If I wanted to sit and criticize everything she did, it'd be too long of a list. My mother-in-law has a key to the house and can come and go whenever. You come in here and you think that you can do whatever.
Have you ever asked me for the privilege to live in my house?
Well, no.
You know what? All right, this is gonna really get nasty. One day I came home and my drawer was empty. My mother-in-law decided that she wanted to move my underwear and socks into another room. She calls all the time, 20 to 30 times a day.
My mother is borderline stalker-ish. My mother called us and she said she was gonna come down on Valentine's Day. She wanted to take me out to dinner without my wife.
I bought this house before Pierre knew his wife. They are draining my finances.
If my mother-in-law thinks that I'm mooching off of her, she definitely is crazy.
Amanda married my son because she assumed he had money. It has been a burden. My son jumps for every little wish she expresses. He's like a slave. He behaves like a slave.
Pierre's scared to stand up to his mom. She does basically control money and assets.
I'm okay with the price I have to pay for the luxuries that I have here, thanks to my mother. She bought me a Mercedes. My wife has a much bigger problem accepting the financial help that my mother gives. It would be difficult to choose if I had to choose between the two.
If he stays with Amanda, he's not going to inherit my money.
I'm contemplating on getting a divorce.
So I have decided to sell the house unless there is a major change that occurs after the input of Dr. Phil.
Did I just hear you say that if I had to make a choice between my mother's money and the luxuries she affords or my wife, it would be a tough choice?
I just meant by that it's a difficult choice, but of course I would choose my wife.
Are you sure you're sitting on the right side?
This is the side I want to be on.
Are you surprised that he's not sitting over here with his mother?
I don't know.
I mean, come on, that's a pretty outrageous statement. You're trying to trivialize it by saying, I mean, it would be hard, but of course I would choose her. Would you really, and are you choosing your wife in what is clearly a turf war and a power struggle here?
Yeah, I'm definitely on my wife's side. It's just very difficult to choose between your mother, and your wife. I mean, I shouldn't have to make the choice.
How old are you?
38.
Are you, in fact, a meddling mother-in-law? Are you wanting to get rid of her?
Well, I think she's creating a huge problem. She's destroying my son's life, both financially and career-wise, because of the problem she has. She has an alcohol problem, and she completely distorts what other people say. You are delusional when you are really drunk.
You don't want her helped. You don't want her fixed. You want him to divorce her. You have said, and I quote, I studied psychology and psychiatry in college, and I am confident that she is insane.
Well, I don't know if I said insane, but
actually, you said
she's drunk,
alcoholic, insane, mentally ill, serious mental problems, emotionally disturbed, the weirdest woman I have ever met. I have students who are mentally ill. One is schizophrenic from LSD, and I know. That's what you said, if you want to be accurate.
No, I did say that. I compared her to those students, yes.
So you want her out of here?
Unless she completely changes, unless she stops drinking. She yelled at me. You offered us a dinner the day before the interview in our hometown, and she was drunk. She kept on leaving the table to go smoke a cigarette and have a drink, and she would come back with a glass of rum. And then when we got home, she instantly yelled at us. She hit Pierre, and they followed each other. And you came back, and you said you were going to call the police. And then you called your parents, and your stepfather came to pick you up.
Hold on.
All the time when you come.
Time out. Now, Amanda says that she can't stand it when her husband and mother-in-law talk to each other in French, so she won't understand. You don't speak French.
No,
and
I don't.
you two talk in French in front of her. Now the question is she just being paranoid, or are they talking about her?
Elle essaye de payer, on n'a pas d'argent.
Amanda gets upset if we speak French. The only way for my son to maintain his French skills is for me to speak French.
Whenever I ask Pierre what him and his mom are talking about in French, he never really gives me a straight answer.
Travailler aussi le weekend.
It's either I tune her out or it's nothing, baby, it's nothing. If you can't even tell me what's being said, obviously something's being hidden.
Well, today we're talking about what some members of the family call know-it-all in-laws. Amanda says she hates her mother-in-law who comes over uninvited every week, even though it's a 3-hour drive. Now, Yolande says it's her house because she pays the mortgage so she can come whenever she wants to. Both call the other one psychotic. Now, Amanda feels that her mother-in-law and husband speak about her in French, knowing Amanda does not understand. When Amanda leaves the room, she can hear voices, but it's always in French. Amanda, her husband, Pierre, and mother-in-law all went to dinner. You're right, we invited you to dinner. Every time Amanda got up from the table, they would switch to speaking in French. So, have you ever wanted to be a fly on the wall? We arranged to have a French translator at dinner, in a way. Take a look.
This is the booth where Amanda and her husband and mother-in-law will be seated.
All right, here they come. Let's do it.
I had to excuse myself, but really I was going to the back room to get wired up and an earpiece in my ear.
This you're going to get in your ear so that the translator will be able to talk to you while you're at dinner.
She say that he can't stay with a girl like that. She eats in a really bad manner. She's strange. She's got an alcohol problem. She's saying she has already ordered a second glass of wine. She's probably going to order a third glass of the bar.
When I heard my mother-in-law saying stuff about my drinking, I just wish she would realize that, yeah, I do order a lot of drinks. It's because of her, and I really don't care for her opinion.
She's saying you cannot find worse than her, you can only find better.
I don't know who the hell she thinks she is. She doesn't even know me, so she shouldn't really even judge me.
She's saying that she has studied psychology and psychiatry, and that this girl has problems.
When I heard her talking about how she thinks I'm nuts and crazy, I wanted to take my glass of wine and throw it in her face.
I've never seen a woman like that before. She's got big issues. I told you, Mom, she's very nervous, and with this smoking, she's totally sick. Go on the internet, you can definitely meet somebody else.
When I heard her saying he needs to go on the internet to find somebody else, that pretty much pissed me off and it got to my boiling point. That's just going over the edge.
All the women in the States are all like that. They're all crazy.
Elle travaille aussi.
He's defending her.
Elle gagne plus d'argent que moi, tu le sais.
She's complaining about that bag, and he's saying that he is actually the one who bought it to her.
Elle avait un sac.
He said he had to buy her a bag because her bag was so old, with cigarette burns.
Comme un trailer trash. Je voulais pas.
He's saying that she looked like trailer trash, and that's why he had to buy her a purse. She's saying, why do you want to ruin your life with a person like that? He's saying, Mom, enough now, enough. I'm going to sell the house. Mom, please stop talking like that.
Bon, dis-le à Dr. Phil.
And he's telling his mom, you tell that to Dr. Phil.
Let me say first off, I am so sorry that you are being treated that way. And Pierre, shame on you for being a party to that. I tell you what, if you can't stand up for your wife, if you can't get a backbone, I don't give a damn how many cars she buys you. That's just wrong, and to be a part of that, you should be ashamed of yourself. I don't know what else to say to you.
I agree. When I see it like that, now, removed from it and I watch it, I can't believe that I act like that. I can't believe it.
What do you think about that?
He doesn't get it. They don't get it. They don't take anything that I say seriously. Or
What do you say about that? You're talking about her being unhealthy and mentally ill and psychologically unstable. It seems to me that what you're doing is mean and vicious and cruel.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I did
That doesn't seem mentally healthy to me.
No. Well, there is quite a distortion in this presentation. I did send you an official document about her and the fact that she did not start drinking because of me. She has admitted that she has a drinking problem and that she has, and I have also seen a letter that states that she needs counseling. She has had problems way before she met Pierre. And
what does my drinking have to do with any of this situation? My husband is definitely spoiled.
My mom bought me this computer, the stove, fridge, the TV, the love seat, the couch here, and even the turntables, courtesy of my mother.
If she didn't have money, he would basically cut her out of his life.
I either stand up to my mom and we give up these nice things, or I put up with all my mom's little quirks and controlling behavior, and then we can live in this lifestyle. I really don't know what to do. I have all this stuff for free, and I'm living a pretty good life.
Well, Amanda says that she's sick of dealing with her know-it-all mother-in-law. Her husband, Pierre, says his mother's money affords him a comfortable lifestyle. Now, before I talk about some other things, I want to get back to your saying that presentation was distorted. Did you say the things that we heard you say? Did the French translator do a pretty good job?
yes. No, what she said there is correct.
So that is accurate.
Yes. But something that is really missing in this entire situation is that I asked them to pay to stay in that house. They have never paid 1 cent. This house is costing about $18,000 a year. Amanda has...
And you do that all for your son. You do everything for your son. And how
you have refused to pay. I've asked you to pay.
Do you have a job?
Every
Yes.
single time you come, every single week you come, you threaten to sell the house. So what? This is your son. You want to piss your son off and make him unhappy? That doesn't even make sense.
Now you are going to pay for your upkeep.
You threaten them with selling this house constantly, do you not? I'm going to kick you out and sell this house if you don't do what I want you to do. True? Do you have a job?
I have a job, yes.
Okay, you are able-bodied. You have a job.
We just would have to live in a a less expensive house. Yeah.
Well, you know what?
He won't be able to do it.
But you know what?
And he
I
won't
would
be able to
live
do it.
in a less expensive house because what's happened here is she has your in a Dixie cup, buddy. She has just cut those off. I mean, seriously, get the visual. Come on. I mean, come on. You know, I mean, just man to man here. Are you kidding me? I would live under a bridge in a box. Seriously, I would live under a bridge in a box before I would let somebody put those strings on me. If you want to reattach, then I would not wait for her to sell that house. I would pack my stuff and get out. And I'll tell you what else I would do. I would park that Mercedes at her curb. I would put the house keys on the dash, and I would tell her if she wants to be in my life that she is going to have to respect my independence and my wife. It's just that simple. Now, she threatens you with the inheritance, correct?
Yeah.
You threaten the inheritance, that if you don't do what I want you to do, which on the short list is get rid of her and marry somebody with some education, right? She has a high school degree. You want him to get somebody more educated.
No, actually, he has had very nice women in the past. There's never been this problem, and I have never come down to stay
until afterwards.
It's only now that I have bought this house that I come and take care of the house. But before that, I never interfered with his friends.
While those girls were there, she wasn't too keen on him, was she?
No.
Okay, now that they're gone, you traded down, in her opinion, right?
Exactly.
You traded down. Now, when you're gone and he drags up somebody else, then you'll go, whoa, where's Amanda? We could have gotten her.
He has had some wonderful women in his life. It's too bad he didn't stay with.
Never said that, though, when I'm dating them. Never when I'm dating them.
Of course, you know
Name
very
one.
well
Give me
I
a name.
liked, say the name, Teresa. She was just wonderful. And I didn't have much contact. I never had contact like that.
Well, you could say it in French. What's Teresa in French? I've got something I want to say to Amanda when we come back. Well, I'm talking to Pierre, Amanda, and her mother-in-law, Yolande. Now, Amanda, you're being abused by your mother-in-law. You're being abused and neglected by your husband. Let me put that aside for a minute. You got a drinking problem.
Yeah, I do.
And I'm sure everybody in America is right now saying, I don't wonder. It's how you're coping with stress.
Yeah.
You need to change that for you. I am more than willing to help you do that, to help you do whatever. I'll do whatever together we determine to be the best and most appropriate thing for you if you will do that. Would you like that help?
Yeah, I would definitely like to help.
And I'm going to make the options available to you so you can do what you have to do to reclaim yourself and your peace of mind and a sober existence in this world. Do you want to be married to her?
I do.
I mean, seriously, do you really, or is this just something that you just really should move home?
No, I love her, and I don't want to move home. I really feel like I'm in the middle where if I choose my wife and I want to stay with my wife, then I'll have no more, it's not just the money, I'll have no more contact with my mother. And
Well, that will be your mother's choice.
Right,
she
but I
can-
think that's what she'll choose,
Okay,
and
well-
so it's a difficult choice.
well-
I mean, I want to be with my wife.
You won't let go of the money. And
The
that's what
fact
it
that
boils
it's a
down to.
difficult choice suggests that I think you need to really revisit whether you want to be in this marriage or not. Are you interested in cutting your son off in terms of your relationship with him if he stays with her and works to help her get better with her problems?
Of course, I hope their relationship will work out, and as soon as they are independent, I will not be contacting them except occasionally.
Okay, if he's not going to support you being who you are, the sooner you find that out, the better, and then you go forward. I'm going to offer you the help that I said, and we'll do whatever it takes. You want to try one thing, then another, then we'll do whatever it takes. Well, today we're dealing with the in-laws. Now, this next story is about in-laws to be. Now, John and Chrissy say they want to get married, but their engagement is on hold because they say they just can't stop fighting. They hit, slap, they call each other offensive names, often in front of their 8-month-old son. Now, mother-in-law to be Shar says she's sick of being caught in the middle, and they both need to grow up. Now, does mom know best about that? Take a look. Let you decide.
Leave me alone.
Okay. Why?
Then get the camera out of my fucking face.
No.
Johnny and Chrissy have a very dysfunctional relationship.
Bye.
Stop it.
If it were just Johnny, I would say, John, cut your losses and get the hell out. But when you've got a child involved, you have got to work it out somehow.
I stopped at Taco Bell and I said, here, I'll go ahead and pull over. You said, no, go home, no, go home.
Swing through Taco Bell parking lot and you
Chrissy.
spilled my food all over me.
A majority of our fights are misunderstandings. It's just a disagreement. It turns into a verbal and physical fight. I mean,
You need to
blowout.
grow
We
up.
can't just disagree anymore. Our arguing and fighting has went over the limit.
We have gotten in fist fights. She has smacked me. I have smacked her back.
He has grabbed me and put me up against the wall, pushing me a little too hard and I fall, and smacking me.
I call your little mommy on you.
Ooh, I'll call yours.
I try not to get involved. However, the majority of the time, Chrissy will call here saying, you want to know what your son's doing.
And he's got the camera in my face right now.
Run your mouth to my mom.
Generally, the first comment that I would make to them both is that both of you need to grow up.
Chrissy doesn't call my mother for advice. She calls my mother to have her tell me to do something.
Oh, you won't talk to her? Why not, Johnny? Why won't you talk to your mom?
Because
You
you're a
won't
piece because you're
follow
lying.
me around.
I'm not following you. The camera shows I'm sitting right here with my son. You told me not to get him because you said, oh, what, you gonna take my son from me? You gonna take my son from me? Chrissy, don't talk to me anymore for the rest of the night. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna tend to my son and you just off, okay? Is the conversation done with? Good, bye.
You better stop.
You stop.
You can't fight in front of this child. You cannot badmouth one another in front of this child. You two have got to get help. Whether you stay together or not, you have to get help for each other's sake.
You're a f***ing child.
Well, Mom, do you see from this video this isn't one-sided?
Oh, definitely.
Well, because you said you think 90% of the problem is hers, that she starts the fights. You're as involved in this as she is, right?
A small percentage of it, yes, I am.
A small percentage of it?
Yes, sir.
A small percentage of it, okay. All right, I was just going to get you to just agree that this was a mutual problem, but since you don't see it that way, then no, we'll go through it.
I mean,
No, we'll go
I
through
will
it.
agree of it, but it was never a problem in my life before, ever. And
Okay. Well, we're not talking about before, we're talking about now.
Yes, it is a problem.
Do you call her names?
Yes, I do. Yes,
all in front of your child?
After it's already gone past the level, yes, I have.
Is that a
I've
yes?
asked her after
Yes, you do this in front of your
yes,
child?
after I asked her to stop.
Okay, is this the small percentage you're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You got in a fight in a car?
Yes, sir.
And you hit him?
I smacked him in the mouth after he bit my finger because I told him that I wanted things to end. Since we can't communicate, I'm drawing the line and I want him out until we can make things better. And he got upset with me
And
we
you
got in
bit
an
her
argument.
hand?
She had her hand in my face while I was driving.
Okay, I just want to be sure
Yes,
that,
I did
that
bite her
I'm
hand.
covering the small percentage that you're talking about of ownership.
If I'm
that you
driving,
have
I
here.
can't reach over and bite her hand, but yes, I mean,
Okay.
her hand was in my
It's
face.
not really a small percentage, is it? I mean, you are involved in this. You're allowing it to escalate just like she is. The two of you are out of control here.
But I wouldn't have bit her hand if it wasn't in my mouth while I was driving. So yes, I did bite her hand, but why was her hand in my mouth?
You can't change what you don't acknowledge. I'm getting you to acknowledge that you are a participant in this.
I agree on that, yes, sir.
Okay, and so don't give me this, well, you know, in a small percentage, it takes two of you to do this.
I see, yeah.
Okay? Do you acknowledge that?
Yes, sir, I
Do you agree with that? You can't change what you don't acknowledge. I need you to see that.
I do, I have.
Because if you brought her in here to get her fixed, it's not her problem. This is y'all's problem.
I know.
You are out of control. What are you thinking doing the things that you're doing? You're in the car saying, Daddy's going to some whores.
I stated, you need to go out and get a job. He did not have a job. He told me he was going to take Ethan to the babysitters, and several times he's taken him to the babysitters and went home and went to bed and not done anything all day. And I go to work, and I was explaining to him that it has to be 50-50 or I'm out.
I can't even say, there's no way, they can't bleep the names you call him. Have I pretty much got a reasonable list right there?
I've called him several names.
Yeah, I got several here. My question for you is, what do you want in this situation, and what are you willing to do to get it?
I don't think Johnny has anger management problems.
I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna tend to my son, and you just f off, okay? Is the conversation done with? Good, bye.
When I see the tape, there is a section of the tape where Johnny makes a comment about Chrissy in front of Ethan.
Mommy's being such a pain in the ass, isn't she? Isn't she?
He should not have made the comment, but by the same token, I thought he was really holding it together to try to prevent an escalation of the fight.
John and Chrissy have put their engagement on hold because their fights were getting worse every day. Now, they've held their son hostage from each other. Now, John and his mom claim it's Chrissy who flies off the handle and has an anger management problem. But listen to John here.
Record me all you want, Johnny. Next time that you start hitting me and doing stuff to me, then I'll record you. And then I bet you
Mommy's being such a pain in the ass, isn't she? Of course, Chrissy, I didn't clean nothing. You're PMSing, you're being to me. Shut up and don't talk to me.
You need to stop. You need to grow up and get out of your little childish stages and be a man, because I'm sick of you.
I'm fed up
You're
with
a child.
Are you done yet? Will you shut your mouth?
I'm just going to have your mom and dad come and get you, and then maybe you'll leave.
I'm not doing nothing wrong. I'm not.
You've been doing stuff wrong, Johnny.
yeah.
You had the camera in my face just to start
You're the
stuff.
one screaming and yelling, turn on the Christmas lights. Hey, Mom, come over here and I'll show you the video camera. I'll show you the video camera, and I'm not following her anywhere. She's just being a
Oh, yeah, I'm just being a
What do y'all think about that?
It's horrible, and I want help. I know I have anger management problems, and I know I get very uncontrollable. And it's like I try so hard, and I work, and I try to make things last, and I take care of my son and do well, and I feel like he doesn't try that hard. And I feel like sometimes I'm doing it all on my own.
But you understand you can't scream your way to responsibility. You can't scream your way to maturity. Look, if the two of you didn't have this baby, you wouldn't be here right now. But we have this child down here. And so that jumps up and hits my radar screen, and I say, I want to be the voice of this precious, precious baby. Now, you get in these fights. Do you understand that this can get out of control and somebody can get hurt? You understand the baby can get hurt? You're videotaping her, right?
I was. Yeah.
You just did this on your own. This is before you even wrote into us. You just decided to videotape. Right. Okay? Now watch what happens. You slap the camera, right? Okay, here we go. You slap the camera and watch the lens. Bang. Do you realize how close that was to hitting that baby in the head? That is a perfect example of how just throwing a fit, just getting upset, just getting angry, and accidentally the child is injured. That's got to stop, or you don't deserve to have that baby, either one of you. Okay? You do provoke her, just as she does you.
Probably at times, yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this.
I'll call your little mommy on you.
Ooh, I'll call yours.
Okay, now here's the significance of that. Her mother's dead.
I apologized, and she did not hear that. She did not hear that, and I apologized 100%. I said, I apologize.
To take 3 days later. It was a long time. He hid it from me. He told me he was taking it to the cops.
But
he told me he would take my son away.
That's in your head. That you would do that in your head, whether she saw it then or later, is just wrong. And this stuff of using the baby as a pawn, this is not a rope in a tug-of-war between two immature people. What are you doing?
I have never kept her from her son.
You don't want to take this baby's father out of the baby's life. You don't want to take the baby's mother out of the baby's life. That is immature and it is inappropriate. You need to stop that. All right, look, here's the deal. Can we have an agreement? Number one, you're not ready to get married.
Agreed.
Okay, do not get married, for God's sake. Do not get married. Number two, do not get pregnant again. Okay, don't have another baby. At this point, you don't want to bring another child into this mess.
I don't want another child, and he has stated that he did want another child, and it scared me, and I totally cut it off. And
the sexual relationship stopped.
Well, if that's the best guarantee, I will get you premarital counseling that is going to go through all of the things that you need to deal with, the anger that you both have, the manner in which you will attack one another, using your child as a pawn in the power struggle, and then negotiating what a marriage truly is. I will provide that counsel for both of you in exchange for, since y'all are up big on this holding hostage, that you won't get married at least until you complete that, and you won't get pregnant again until you complete that. If I arrange that for you, will you meet those conditions and will you participate?
Yes, sir.
I will get you that help yesterday. I mean, right now, I will make that happen. Yeah. Okay? Yes, deal? And as a quick aside, leave your mother out of this. She doesn't need it.
Dr. Phil?
She doesn't need it.
May I say one thing?
Please.
When they are both calm and collected, they love each other so much, and that baby is the world to both of them. Yeah. And it's wonderful. It's getting the anger and everything under control.
Hopefully we can make that the rule instead of the exception. Well, it's amazing the tangled webs that we weave, and it seems like family gets involved, but that can be a good thing. Extended family can be positive and healthy and a great resource for everybody, but there has to be a boundary. You have to have fence lines. There has to be separation once you are the adult. I really thank all of my guests for being here today. We have a plan for these two over here, right? And you're behind that.
Oh, yes.
You support that. And we got a plan for these two, and you're behind that. So I'm counting on you guys to support me in this. Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.